Now, the rest of the story.
We're done baling, at least this last round, of everything that needed to be made. So all that is left is the valley and potentially fourth cut of Ryan's. And I just went through, I actually washed it off because when I turned the acid preservative on last night, it was maxed out. I must have bumped it with my hand. And with the medium-sized nozzles that are on it, that really does throw out a lot of preservative, and seems how I got to work on the pickup. I went through and watered it down, which the pickup doesn't need much. I'm in the camp of I'd rather go through and change teeth out gradually rather than waiting until they're pretty much not doing the job at all. And pretty proud of the fact that I would rather, we do run the pickups just high enough where they're not really digging into the dirt. We really don't have to change teeth very often, so having to take off just 2 or 3 bands every once in a while is better than having to go through and completely take off everything and then have to replace every single row. So I've had to do that before, and it's not enjoyable. What I ended up losing was one of the heavy ones in the end. It looks to me like it's that one right down below, and I have this one right here, this one right here. I think all together, I think I had 3 that I had to really do. But that's really important to keeping the teeth on it in working order, because like for third cutting grass, the stuff is really fine, so you don't want to be leaving any more on the ground than you have to, so all the teeth are able to come around and pick those windrows up is important. Also, when we're baling corn fodder, hands down the hardest job that these balers are put through. Corn residue is just absolutely terrible on these balers. That's why it's nice when it's the last job for the year, and when I go through in the spring and I do my pre-season maintenance, I can go through and catch anything that has been worn out from running the corn fodder through it. Dad's working on a really cool squirt gun. What is the actual name of this? Just category 3 or ABC or whatever it is. I'm not even sure what they called it. Oh, classification 2A. 2.5, 2.5 gallons.
2.5 gallons. Yeah.
So this is for the combine, and we just put the maritime freeze in it, the antifreeze for RVs and stuff. So that way we don't have to worry about it freezing in any cold weather. But this is going to be going on the back of the combine.
If the combine calls for the water.
Oh, it does?
Yep.
Oh. And this is essentially all it is. I mean, where's the, don't you have to charge it? Where's that at? Oh, right there. So you put water in it and then you fill it up with pressure with the air hose. And this one goes in the back of the combine. On the front end, we got just a standard
ABC dry chemical.
Yeah, ABC dry chemical. So it's not like we've had things get warm before, so being prepared is definitely important.
This is the size of extinguisher that the extinguisher holder calls for. It's bigger around than a regular ABC one like that. That's the one that was on the front of the combine. I got a new one for there, and then this one for the back.
Yep. And then because we originally had 2 of those because we didn't realize there were 2 different sizes at the time. He bought 2 of the similar size extinguishers there. Well, I fell off the baler this spring, and I bounced off the fire extinguisher over there, and I, sent dust flying everywhere. It didn't really do much. I mean, it still technically had pressure, but when we went and checked it here about a week or 2 ago, it was losing pressure, so we just put a new one on that, and we're good to go. Say it's nice when the balers don't really need huge amounts of maintenance every time they need to go back to the field, but the stuff that I was making or baling in that live stream was a little green, and this stuff doesn't really like to feed in that well, especially when you're talking about a third cut green grass. When I say green, I mean the stuff has been cut for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so 3 days. But the weather lately really hasn't really been perfect for drying anything out, really. I mean, the corn and beans are coming down, but not the hay, which is probably a blessing that we're on the downhill slide on making hay for the year. Well, I'm just trying to add a little reasoning to the madness, and I end up only replacing one tooth so far. I got to replace this large one on the end here. That's what I'm spinning this around for. But I do have like a random tooth here missing. I know I have new viewers. Met them last night in the live stream, and I just wanted to make it clear as to why I'm not going through and replacing this one because it's broke off. Because those teeth are like $7 a piece. I mean, it's not just one single tooth. These are 2 teeth. It's a set. And one tooth missing out across, that's all it is. One tooth missing isn't the end of the world. Now, if I got into a situation where I was missing like every other tooth, or if I was missing, 2 here, had this one, missing 3, had 2, then I'd go through and I'd replace them to the best of my ability. But when you only have one tooth that's actually missing, okay, so maybe I hit a rock or a gopher or something, you're not really losing any of your picking up ability by missing this one tooth, because the following 3 teeth on this pickup are there. It's just I don't want multiple teeth missing. Like that one, that was all that was left of the one I replaced. And then when you start talking about losing 2 right next to each other, well, then you start, gaining some real estate where, okay, now this much of the pickup is effectively not doing anything, and I don't exactly like that either. And if I have one tooth missing on each of these 4 rails, I'm not worried about it. But the big ones honestly are the most important part to this pickup, are these large teeth on the end. They are substantially heavier than the rest of the teeth. The reason being is because, oh, here comes the kiddos. These are the teeth in the end. There's 2 on each side on all the rails versus the teeth that are in the center. And the reason that these are so much more important than these is because they're picking up the material that's generally straight ahead of the pickup. And the teeth that are on the ends, and Julie, Jack, the teeth that are on the ends, they're pulling in hay that is, a foot out from the pickup on either end, which, especially when we're doing like waterways and stuff, it happens. When we're dealing with heavy first cut with the rhino rake widened out all the way on the back end, it happens. So having all the teeth in this baler is making you money and saving you stress.
No, Travis is